live. Chat, I'm so happy to see you. How's it going, chat? How are you doing today? Please tell me you're doing great, because that would cheer me up. I had the mediocre day, you know. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was ish. And if it was ish, maybe you guys can make it into a great day by telling me your successes. Has any streamer asked you about your successes? Look, YouTube is telling me that H3 is streaming right now. I don't know why YouTube is telling me that, considering that I'm not subscribed to his channel. I don't know who misspelled is, but apparently he's streaming right now. The question is, if you were to go on his stream, would he ask about your successes? Probably not. This is why you come here. I'm the only person that asks about your successes. Why isn't this show prompted with the quartering ad? Because I never asked him like whether he wants to sponsor me or not. And secondly, I don't think his coffee is delivered to Europe. And finally, I don't know if it would be a good investment for the quartering, because I do not have the same clout that I used to. I used to have around 600, 700 people watching my streams. But due to self-sabotage as well as other issues outside my control, I'm not doing as good as I used to. Still, I am very grateful for you guys being here. I appreciate it. So no, I don't think we are going to get a quartering sponsorship. Now, there is something that I want to talk about, something that genuinely bothers me, and that is the video that I made on my main channel today. I'm pretty sure some of you may have seen it, because I watched it so many times and I just couldn't believe my eyes. Like, there is no way that this thing exists. So the video today is about sustainable cities, right? And I believe Saudi Arabia commissioned this particular one, but because it's in English, it's given to a more wider audience. So let's watch it again. You know, we're going to watch it here, and we will talk a little bit more about it, because, god damn it, like, this really freaks me out.
For too long, humanity has existed within dysfunctional and polluted cities that ignore nature. Now, a revolution in civilization is taking place. Imagine a traditional city and consolidating its footprint.
I love how, like, 1,000-year-old cities just vanish, you know, like, just like that. What happened with the people that live here? What happened with the people that live here? Like someone has a house right here. What happens to him? Like, this requires central planning that only dictatorships are capable of. Like, only in the Soviet Union could this happen. Like, you have a job here, right? You have a home here, and then the government tells you, no, you need to fuck off because we're building a city.
Designing to protect and enhance nature. The line will be home to 9 million residents. And
now, someone in the chat said that this might be vaporware, which, by the way, it is. Like, I'm pretty sure this is just a money laundering scheme. I think Western Howler, I appreciate it. This is just a money laundering scheme, I agree. But, like, even on paper, it sounds like hell. I mean, this is a 40k hive city. This is Judge Dredd mega city. Like, this is horrible. I wouldn't want to live like this.
will be built with a footprint of just 34 square kilometers.
Imagine living with 9 million people in 34 square kilometers. Like, this is the definition of overcrowded. I mean, this would be fucking hell.
And we are designing it to provide a healthier, more sustainable quality of life. The lines...
If you want a sustainable, healthy quality of life, live in the countryside. Just live on a farm. That's healthy and it's sustainable. This is not.
Communities are organized in 3 dimensions.
Right, so like the Hive City shit, like, first of all, this is an architectural nightmare. Like, it can't actually be built. But secondly, do you know what they say when you tell them like it can't be built? They will say, "Oh, we have innovative AI solutions." Like we're going. No, you're not. Like this is beyond ridiculous. And not to mention, like, what do you do with crime? What do you do with terrorist attacks? I mean, imagine like 9 million people living in 34 square kilometers. Like a single terrorist attack is going to take out so many. Like this is ridiculous. And thank you, JDA79. V for God Emperor. I don't know if I want to be the God Emperor. He's having a couple of troubles in the Lord recently. But anyway.
Residents have access to all their daily needs within 5-minute walk neighborhoods.
What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck? So you're telling me that the job is going to be within 5-minute walk? How are you going to plan for the... You know what this looks like? This looks like the old factory cities, but on steroids. So for those of you who don't know, during the Industrial Revolution, we experienced some of the greatest oppression that mankind could muster because there was no regulations regarding factories, right? So factories could actually own land. They could own not just like the houses of the workers, but the amenities surrounding it. And they could pay the workers with funny money. Like, you could actually have, like, a Coca-Cola coin, right? So it wasn't, like, actual money. Well, like a Coca-Cola coin. And you could spend that coin only with Coca-Cola products. I mean, that's fucked up, isn't it? Right? So, this seems to be the same thing. Like, you have all of these factory workers concentrated in a city. And the way you can control them, the way you can bully them if they... choose to rebel is not even hilarious. I mean, it's something of a dystopian thing, and it's presented like it's nice.
And the line's infrastructure makes it possible to travel end to end in 20 minutes.
How the fuck can you travel end to end in 20 minutes if there's 9 million people living there? And we're talking about 9 million. Do you understand the traffic, lady? Like, do you understand, like, even if people are walking on foot, if it's, like, the same line that 9 million people have to take, there is no fucking way you're going to end up in 20 minutes. Have you been in a crowded marketplace? Have you been in a crowded mall? Have you been in a crowded supermarket? Like, you cannot just travel end to end in 20 minutes just because, like, okay, well, maybe a single person can travel end to end in 20 minutes, but good luck doing that with 900 million people who have the same idea. Thank you, Emerald Wolf. Man, why are people so kind today? What have I done? Like, this is not a special stream or anything. It's just, I don't even have a guest. Yeah, but like, it looks like a prison. That's what it looks to me. Why the fuck is there a wall around the city? Like, who's going to besiege it? I thought walls are racist. Why do you need a wall around the city? Please explain. Like, walls are either to keep people out or to keep people in. Why do you have a wall? Like, this is the most freakish thing out of the entire video, the wall aspect. Like, why is there a wall?
For cars, resulting in 0 carbon emissions.
People still burp and fart, lady. There's not going to be 0 carbon emissions unless, like, you get rid of the people. That like, okay, well, you got rid of cars. You still have people burping. That's carbon.
By leveraging AI technology, services are autonomous.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like, they keep saying, oh, well, it's all about the artificial AI solution. And not to mention, like, services are autonomous. Okay, so what are those people going to do for a living? Where are they going to work? Like, if everything is autonomous, what do people do? What is the job that people can, I mean, I guess, like, the priest can't be replaced, right? Like, he's going to still have a job. And then you have the poet, but, like, the Starbucks burrito goes out the window. Like, there's a robot doing that shit now.
Saving you time and effort.
And like, time and effort, like, what else are you going to do? Like, apparently, in the utopia, getting everywhere is really fast. You don't have to work, you have time. Like, what do you do for a living? What you don't see is the massive farms. Yeah, but Soylent Green is probably going to be the food here.
Designed by world-leading architects.
Yeah, world-leading architects, my fucking ass. If they design something like this, they're not world-leading architects, I guarantee to you. Like, there is no fucking way you can have this thing being designed and actually work. Like, what they're planning here is a pipe dream. Might as well plan a stairway to heaven. Like, that might actually be architectural sound.
The line is 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, 170 kilometers long, and housed within an elegant mirror glass facade.
This is going to laser beam everything around the fucking city, isn't it? Like, there's no way to escape the city. Like, the mirror is going to fry you like a fucking ant. Do you know that there were lawsuits in London because there were some skyscrapers which had mirrors, and they literally melted the cars around the skyscrapers, okay? They want to build this shit in the middle of the desert. Like, everyone trying to run away from the city is going to be incinerated. Like, mirror glass facade. Are you fucking insane? In the middle of the desert. I'm genuinely curious, like, how are people going to get out of this? And this thing is going to burn down every single plant and every single little animal and critter around the fucking city. And by the way, wasn't it like when they said like Trump's wall was unbuildable because it was too expensive? Give me a second. The cat is meowing. I need to get rid of it. Gonna lock the cat out. Give me just 1 second. We'll be right back to our regular schedule. Just hold on. God damn it. Like it's so fucking annoying. I swear to God. So, it meows at my door. And then when I go to catch it so I can lock it in the bathroom, which is the horny jail, it runs away. And then when I go back inside, it comes back. The cat is juking me. Anyway, right. So, where were we?
Solutions create efficiency and year-round temperate microclimate with natural ventilation.
Do you understand just how much this shit would cost? And not only that, it's just how much energy this shit would be using. Like, you want microclimate, but you talk about zero carbon emissions? Like, how? How? Like, where is all this electricity coming from? And they're going to say, well, it's green electricity. Fuck you, you can't do that. There is no, unless you do nuclear. Okay, like if they do nuclear power, I agree. This might be feasible. If they invent some new technology like fusion, it might be feasible. But what they're trying to achieve, there is no way you can do it with like green energy. You just can't.
Energy and water supplies are 100% renewable.
Water supply in the desert. Okay.
The line is designed as a series of unique communities, offering a wealth of amenities.
Why do I get an... I thought I didn't put ads. Weird. Okay.
Use.
Yes. Right. So here's another question, right? Like, they go with equitable views. My question is, how many people are going to get actual sunlight versus how many people are going to get fake sun? Because, like, if you build like this, the people on top, they're going to get the actual sun, and the people at the bottom are going to get jack shit. There is no fucking way that the bottom of the city is going to be having desirable locations. Like, no one is going to want to live at the bottom, right? So who gets to live on the top? That's why they say, they don't say equal, right? Because there's no way equal, it's going to be equitable. So in other words, like, they're going to decide which class of people deserve to have the privilege to live on the top, and which class of people have to live on the bottom. But, okay, so, my point is, obviously this is vaporware. Like, it's never going to happen. This is, like, just the elites trying to get money. But, like, even in their fantasy, this looks dystopian as hell, man. And secondly, right, this is Hollywood magic. Like, everything from the beginning up until this point is Hollywood magic. And like, the thing that's scaring me is that the elites, they look at this and they actually think it's possible. It's the solar roadways type of shit. And that they're like, oh yeah, you know, like this is such a great play. Yeah, like it's going to happen. Trickle down sunlight economics, yes. A proper arcology should be more vertical. No, like I'll tell you what type of cities they're going to create. Like assuming that this is not vaporware and it's actually going to happen. I will show you exactly. So I think I have a couple of pictures, like what happens when these types of cities are being made. Of course, they're not going to show that. Here we go. Give me 1 second, because I saw someone posted an image from his country. I believe it was in India. Gosh darn it. Here we go. Right. So chat, this is pretty much what I think they can make. But this is doable, right? Not a good place to live in. I'll give you that. But it's doable. And then, of course, they say that they tried this in Poland. Let me see. Hold on. So yeah, I mean, in Eastern Europe, people are really shocked at how cheap renting is. So for example, here a one-room apartment you can rent for $100. I mean, Americans are mind-fucked when you tell them this. Like, they legitimately double, like, what do you mean $100? Yeah, and this is the reason we call them matchbox apartments, right? So, you don't have villas, you don't have mansions, you don't have homes, you have only these. And I don't know, I mean, there's advantages to it, not gonna lie. You get to have your own house, right? But it's like a one-room apartment where an entire family lives. I mean, you're not going to have sex with your wife without the kids listening in. The whole concept that communists did, and by the way, like, this is manageable. But the whole concept was that you're not supposed to live indoors. Like, you're using your house kind of like a dorm, and most of your day you're out going to your work. Like, you're working from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you're not really going home that much. And, you know, you spend a lot of time in the parks and stuff. I mean, it looks like hell, but you have a place, right? Like, it's yours. Like, you can own the apartment. Many people can actually buy their apartments. That's why rent is so cheap in Eastern Europe, is because you have all these things. But it's not nice, right? Now, again, the elites, they don't like this. I mean, the elites aren't going to live in this shit. The elites have mansions. Are the guys cooking meth? No, the biggest problem with all of these high-rise apartments is that if you live on the bottom, you're going to have to suffer a lot of shit. So like, for example, if this guy here clogs his toilet, all the people under him suffer. At the bottom, you have all the vermins, like cockroaches, rats, all that type of stuff. You know, where there's a lot of people living in, you're going to attract vermins. All the people at the bottom are going to suffer this. So the higher you are, the less likely you are to deal with this shit. But then another problem. Oh my god, I asked my wife to lock the cat. Why the fuck is the cat still free? Holy shit. I think she got the memo. But yeah, so another big issue with people at the top is the heat. Like, this thing on top gets really, really hot during the summer. So the apartment is almost like it's boiling you alive. But yeah, alternatively, at the bottom, you have the cold from the earth because the isolation isn't that good. So, like, the best place to live is somewhere in the middle. Now, the biggest problem with these tenants is that if you want to make any type of maintenance, like let's say the elevator breaks, let's say you want to do a paint job or renovations, it's almost next to impossible because you need 50% plus one of the people living there to sign the paper and consent. And you have a lot of elderly people that do not have the money for the reparations. So they usually fall into disrepair. Like most of these places stink to high heaven. There's probably flooding going down in the basement. No one wants to fix it. No one wants to take care of it because they don't get the signatures. So that's why. I can't show you the cat because it doesn't stay still, especially when it's agitated. And I think I figured out why the cat keeps bothering me when I'm streaming, right? Because normally it leaves me the fuck alone, but the moment I stream, I swear to God, like it feels that. It feels that I'm streaming. And I think it's because I raise my voice. Like when I stream, I use a higher voice, and because of that, the cat activates, so. And one of the annoying things, which is why I don't want to let it in the room with me, is due to the fact that it turns my computer off, okay? So, I just want to say that I absolutely despise the people that came up with this concept. I genuinely don't know what the fuck was in their head, and I do not know why I bought their product, because had I known, chat, I would never buy it. So, here's the thing. If you have a pet, never ever buy a computer case like this, okay? Like, this is horrible. The on-off button is on the top. So the cat jumps on the fucking computer and it hits the on-off button. Like, it never misses. Like, even if I would train a cat to touch this button, I would not be able to. Like, it knows exactly how to do it. When I was a little kid, the on-off button was here. Like, this is where it's supposed to be, right? It makes fucking sense. But no, like, why the fuck would you put it on the top? So every single time the cat goes in, it goes to the computer because it's warm. It wants to sleep on it. It's like, fine. But it jumps on it. It hits the on-off button, turns off the computer. Fuck that shit. The cat isn't allowed in my room because of that. Yeah, tape some cardboard. Like, even if I tape cardboard, like, the cat is heavy. It would have to be, like, some really thick cardboard. How the fuck can you put a box on it? Do you not see the fact that it's tilted? Like, any box that I put on it is going to fall down. And even then, like, look, I can find workarounds, but the workaround that fits me the best is cat doesn't get to get into this room. Simple as. I don't have to tape shit on my computer. I do not live beholden to my cat's whims and wishes. My cat can fuck off. He's got the whole house. Doesn't need this room. Jesus fucking Christ. Put aluminum in there. How about I don't put anything? How about that? Because not to mention, it's not just the computer. It starts chewing the wires. It starts trying to get out the window. Like, in its infinite wisdom, when I was at the bathroom, the cat came in and it jumped off the window. Now, off the window, there's like a little, how should I don't know the English term for it. There's like a tiny roof that covers my entryway so it doesn't rain. And obviously, like, during the summer, it gets hot as fuck. So my cat jumped on it, and then its paws were hurting, right? Because it's like the hottest thing imaginable. So I have to go down. I hurt my feet. How about the cat just doesn't get into this fucking room? Thank you, Rostavius. I actually missed you. I don't know the last time you were here, but I appreciate that you're here now. The cat owns you. No, it doesn't fucking own me. The cat is now outside. Anyway. The claim is that scientists at CERN are communicating with demonic entities and opening a portal to hell. Matt, what would I do without fact checkers? You know, like, I might have actually believed this story, right? Like, because any normal person would definitely believe this 100%. But luckily we have the fact checkers, the only entities capable of discerning fact from fiction, explaining to us what reality is. And they debunked this. I'm really glad that the scientists at the CERN Hadron Collider are not going to open a portal to hell. Yes. You know, like Satan can now breathe easily. Can you imagine, like, Satan finding out that Californians are going to go into his place? Like, holy shit. Like, Satan might actually... But I'll tell you this, you know, like, seeing fact checkers debunk it, now I might think that, well, maybe the scientists are trying to open a portal to hell. Oh, like, look, the fact checker says it's false. So maybe the scientists genuinely are trying. Like, why would they even waste their time with this story, chat? Yeah, like, literally, fact checkers are always wrong. Like, I should prepare for the hell portal. I should find the doom guy, ask for help. They're going to Mexico City. I know, I made the video, man. In April, scientists at the European Organization for Nuclear Research restarted their particle accelerator, the world's most powerful accelerator, after a 3-year hiatus. Yeah, because it was with the pandemic, right? The accelerator, the Large Hadron Collider, had undergone repairs and upgrades, and scientists plan to use it to crash protons together and learn more about the origins of the universe. Nevertheless, social media users are suggesting that the machine has a different purpose. Like, how many of these social media users are genuinely honest and are not taking the piss? Like, whatever happened with being able to take the piss about something? You know, like using metaphors, mocking, making fun of things. Nevertheless, okay, so apparently a person made the claim on a TikTok video. Of course it's TikTok, like why wouldn't it be? If you all don't know about the CERN, it's a demonic evil machine that opens up portals to other dimensions. Other spiritual worlds, not heaven. It brings in demonic wicked spirits. Lady, you don't need the Hadron Collider for that. We got the European Union. Like you don't need scientific mambo jumbo to bring in demonic spirits when the European Union exists. So apparently the claim is baseless. There is no evidence. You know, just because there is no evidence doesn't mean it's not true. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, like sometimes people have been right with no evidence. Like a woman can know that the husband is cheating even without any evidence. I would love this, you know, like this fact checker having its spouse cheat on them. And it's like, well, there's no evidence that they're cheating. Physics experts told USA Today scientists use the collider to collide particles together. But yeah, but like, let's assume that they would try to open a portal to hell. Isn't that what they would say? Like, if they actually were communing with evil spirits, would they say they're communing with this? Yeah, you know, totally, you know, like this TikTok lady, like, yeah, completely got us. Like, we admit, you know, like, we were going to, but now that the cat is out of the bag, we're not going to lie, you know, like... I guess experts investigated themselves, you know, like... I love the fact checkers, like, instead of saying, like, this makes absolutely no fucking sense, you know, like, hell isn't real, shut the fuck up. No, they're like, well, the experts said that they're not doing that. It's like, yeah, but the experts are placed under the accusation, you dimwits. Like, that's not how you fact check. Like, I'm more concerned now about your fact checking abilities. I mean, seriously, right? Like, if someone is being accused of doing something, you can't say, well, we verified. Like, we talked with the person, they say they're not doing what they're accused of, so clearly there is no evidence. You know, that's not how you know. Like, you're supposed to do an investigation. Or at least just say that the claims are so outlandish, they don't make sense. If I were the director, I would respond, what? Hell portal? No, of course not. This is a Tower of Babel situation. Spooky, that is so fucking brilliant. That is so fucking brilliant. It's like, yes, we're not opening a portal to hell. This is more like a Tower of Babel situation. We're trying to get to heaven, goddammit. Collider can't open up yeah, but like, why open a portal to hell when hell is already here? Yeah, it's literally like, this is what fact checkers do now. You know, we asked them and they said no. Imagine if they do this with Trump, with January 6th. It's like, people are accusing that January 6th was an insurrection done by Trump. We asked him and he said no. Yeah, like, there is no truth to the claim that scientists are communicating with demonic entities and using the collider to open up a portal to hell. A physics professor told USA Today in an email. Oh, I'm fucking glad you wasted his time. To create a black hole or a wormhole, even microscopic ones with our current technology. Yeah, but like, the claim is that you're consorting with the evil spirits. Like, they could give you their technology, right? Like, this is not debunking the claim. The claim is so fucking absurd that if you entertain it, you can't just debunk it, right? Like, that's the problem. Like, the correct way to say is that, well, I mean, the person didn't give us any proof, any evidence that we're doing this. Like, I don't even know how to approach the subject. It's outlandish, it's ridiculous, right? Like, that's how you debunk it. But if you're going to entertain the claim, even for a second, then you can't debunk it. Because there's no fucking way. Like, oh, well, we don't have the technology. Well, the claim is that you're consorting with evil demonic entities. They may have the technology for you. Jesus. In the context of our standard theories of gravity, we need an accelerator as big as the whole universe. Well, not really. I mean, again, it depends on the technology that the demons supplement you with. The collider uses a strong magnetic field to accelerate particles or protons at very high energies in a circular tunnel. When two beams of these particles collide, detectors which are located around the beam outlet the collisions. Since these are previously unexplored energies in a controlled environment, we might expect production of some new elementary particles that we didn't know of existed. However, these are microscopic particles, so there is no chance of such a portal would open. Yeah, okay. Scientists relaunched the machine in April to study the dark matter, the Washington Post reported. It does not absorb, reflect, or emit light, making it incredibly hard to spot. So far, scientists discovered 3 new subatomic particles. So our rating is false, based on our research. Oh my fucking god, you did your research. We rate false the claim that scientists at CERN are communicating with demonic entities and opening particles to hell. There is no evidence. Yeah, but like, again, fucking hell. There is an accusation. You can't debunk an accusation, right? Like, you can't fact check an accusation. Unless you have a trial. But again, like, it's a baseless accusation. Like, that's how you're supposed to say it. It's like false. No, the accusation is baseless. An accusation can't be true or false. It can be either backed by evidence or not. But even an accusation that's not backed by evidence doesn't make it false. The collider cannot open portals to other dimensions. Experts said that scientists use the machine to collide particles, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And not to mention, like, again, if, assuming for the sake of the argument that they could open portals to other dimensions, right? And they were doing this in secret, and they were consorting with evil spirits. And you're asking them, would they say it? Like, would they actually say? Would they be like, oh, yeah, shit, oh, I mean, we were gonna, but now not. Fact check. AOC was arrested during the protest. Let's see. So the claim that Representative Alexandria Occasional Cortex did not get arrested while protesting at the Supreme Court. Who made this claim? She was arrested. Like, there was a police escorting her. Like, Capitol Police arrested 35 people, including 17 members of Congress, to rally against the overturning of Roe v. Wade. How the fuck can you, like, even if you protest, what do you accomplish? Like, it's done. Like, they can't, like, this is circus. The Supreme Court cannot rule unless a case is being brought before it. Like, even if they change their mind, even if they're like, gosh daddy, what were we thinking? Like, what the fuck was in our mind? Why did we overturn over here? They can't undo it. Like, the way it works is that you need a case brought before the Supreme Court. and they make a decision. That is the only way that they can, you know, create these legal ramifications. But I wonder, like, how many American people understand how the Supreme Court works. So apparently, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was photographed being arrested. But a July 19 Facebook post claimed that she wasn't arrested. The post, which occurred 30 shares in 1 week. Look, oh my fucking god, look at these fact checkers, man. Look at these fact checkers. Like, they're going on the most fringe cases on the internet. Like a post which had 30 shares in 1 week. Holy fuck. I can post fart on Twitter and I will get more than 30 shares in 1 week. Like, I can just smash my head on the keyboard and I'll probably get 30 shares in 1 week. Like, this is nothing. The caption of the post reads, "Rough day, have a laugh. Here's AOC faking being arrested." No, she did that. Oh my god, I see what they're doing, right? So the claim wasn't that AOC fakes being arrested. The claim was that AOC faked being handcuffed. Right? Because, like, when you look at these photo op pictures with her smiling and having her hands behind her back, it looks like she's under handcuffs, but she's not. This is what people were saying. So what the fact checkers are doing is like, oh, people said that she claimed that she got arrested, that it was a fake. No, like, except for a post on Facebook with 30 shares, no one is saying that. Like, literally, no one is saying that she did not get arrested. Like, what people are saying is that she pretended to be under handcuffs to look good in the pictures, right? To look like a victim. That's what people are saying. So when they debunk it, they're like, oh shit, we need to protect her integrity. Like, how can we do it? It's like, oh, well, people are lying about her being arrested. No one is lying about her being... I have not seen a single person denying that she got arrested. Occasional Cortex is the best... Yeah, I know. I came up with it. Of course it is. The Facebook user, USA Today, linked to an article entitled "Breaking AOC Fakes Being Handcuffed Outside the Supreme Court." Yes! Yeah, like, literally. Now, I don't know if, like... I don't know if she did it consciously or subconsciously or whatever, but again, like, the way she was holding her hands and everything, like, it looked as if she was being handcuffed when she wasn't. Photographs show that she was not handcuffed. Some social media users are claiming that means she was not arrested. Yeah, I think like 0.0.0.1% of social media users are claiming that. Social media users, including Representative Nancy May RSG, was questioned why she put her hands behind her back if officers did not handcuff her. She says, "Putting your hands behind your back is the best practice while detained." Oh, fuck off. Like, what do they thought that, like, that they're going to get violent with her? Like, do they thought that they're going to assault a U.S. senator? I know that in leftist La La Land and ideology is like, oh, well, she's Latinx, so yes, like, the cops see Latinx and they get angry. No, that's not how the world works. You know, like, if the cops know you're rich and well-connected, you can be any race, gender, or sexual oriented, they ain't gonna do shit. Like, stop pretending you understand the struggle of the little people. Like, if you're poor, if you're a homeless person and you're white, you know, you're oozing with white privilege. Like, let's say you're a blonde, white, blue-eyed guy, you know, like, as masculine as can be, but you're homeless. And it's obvious that you're homeless. The cops are going to beat your shit. You know, like, the cops are going to rough you up. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want because they know you ain't going to do shit. But if you're well-connected, like, if you're, like, the most fringe minority on top of the progressive stack, but you're a member of Congress, the cops ain't gonna do nothing, lady. They're not going to touch you. They're not going to do anything. La stinks. Oh, I love it. La stinks. Stinks. That is a word that I have. I need to tell Rosa Coatl the word la stinks. Not to mention, like, putting your hands behind your back is best practice. No one says this. Like, no one says this. I have never heard... Like, the best practice is to do what the cop tells you. If the cop tells you put your hands behind your back, you put your hands behind your back. If the cop doesn't tell you, then don't. Right? Like, there is no such thing as best practice while being like, the best practice is to listen to what the cops tell you. So, Occasional Cortex shared the details of her arrest in an Instagram story, a feature where images of the videos appeared. Apparently, she posted an image of the ticket she received, crowding, obstructing, or incommodating, and a $50 fine. Oh, wow, yes, the $50 fine. How will she ever manage to pay it? Based on our research, we rate false that she wasn't arrested. Let's see what else we got. Supreme Court cannot rule to impeach Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, like the Supreme Court cannot impeach. Have you talked with Rosa recently? Is she okay? Yes. She's in my server, dude. Premium benzene oil supply wouldn't fuel America for 200 years. Refunds offer after Trump's North Carolina rally postponed. Alright. I fucking got these fact checkers, man. What would we do without them? Like, how would we manage to live without their infinite wisdom? How did they do it, though? Like, how did they manage to fact check is what I want to know. It sounds like such a fucking difficult job. I just, like, you need to be so wise, right? Like, you need to be wise behind your ears in order to. Although, to me, it looks more like a job for a censor, right? Like, it's mostly built around censorship, because that's what the fact checker does. Like, if they decide something is false, then the algorithms like Facebook and whatnot either outright ban it, or in other instances they downrank it in the search. So that's what the fact checkers are. They're actual censors. It's not like, oh well, we're checking the fact. Like, especially when you're checking opinions. Like, I have seen opinions getting fact checked, right? Like, how the fuck can an opinion be true or false? Like, an opinion can be right or wrong. Like, if you say, okay, I mean, my bad. You know, like, maybe I didn't express myself properly. Obviously, everything can be true or false, right? Like, reality happens, and it can either, like, when you talk about it, it can either be false or true, right? Like, reality. So the thing is, like, it's like this. Reality is always true, right? Like, a lightning hit a tree. Like, that happened. When you talk about it, when you put it into words, then it can be false. Like, you can lie about the lightning, you can choose to omit it, right? So when you use verbal speech to describe reality, that's when falseness can exist. So everything that is said by a human can be true or false. But when you say stuff like, I think that you're a homosexual, there is no way to fact check this, because we do not have the machine that can peer into people's brain. So what I just said is an opinion, right? Because I think that blah, blah, blah. So when I say I think that blah, 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 even if it's completely false, because you're a straight guy and you're banging women left and right, and you would never consider going out with a guy, right? Like, but I think that you're a homosexual, even though, or if I say I think gravity doesn't exist, right? Like, if I say that, there is no way for you to say it's false, because you have no way of knowing what's in my head. Like, the only way you could fact check it is if you know what's in my head that I genuinely do not think one way or another. Like, maybe I'm a crazy person, maybe I'm insane, right? So when you fact check an opinion, it's impossible to fact check it, because you don't know what the person who has the opinion actually believes. In other words, the fact checkers, they don't try to get to the truth, they just try to censor. Because they're censors, that's what they are. Well, V, if I had a friend hit by lightning twice, but he was on a golf course. There have been people struck by lightning many times. Like, I think the record is 7. It sounds insane, but like, it also depends where you're at. Like, if you work on a field, if you're a farmer, right? And you work on a field and the storm keeps hitting, like, you're more likely to get struck than a person that lives in a city. But I know people that had, like, lightning go through their house. I mean, it's fucked up when you think about it. People in medieval times were probably very concerned about lightning. Not necessarily because it could strike them, but because it could cause a fire. Like, it could hit a tree and then everything catches fire. You do actually know what the truth is, or at least you claim to. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, Tactical Droid, is that if you make a statement with "you think that," right? If you tell me, "I think that," there is no way for me to debunk whether or not you think it, right? Like, this is why in the United States, opinion pieces cannot be slander or libel. Because if the person says, "I think that your mother is a woman of low moral fiber," you can't say, "Oh my god, that's slanderous. I'm going to, you know, like, I can prove that my mother has never." It's like, okay, but like, even if you prove that your mother has never, like, the statement is that the person thinks, right? So you would have to debunk what the person thinks. So in order for it to be slander, it needs to be a categorical statement. It's very interesting. Like, if you say, "I think your mother is a prostitute," it's very different than "your mother is a prostitute," right? Like, if the person says the second, then it's slander. But if it says the first, then it's not, because it's opinion and it's protected by free speech. This is why, like, a lot of journalists now have, like, opinion piece. Right? Like, they say it's an opinion. It's to cover their asses so they don't get sued. Not all the lightning strikers have a special request. I see. Wasn't Amber Heard article an opinion piece? No, because it was based on many articles, and some of them actually made categorical statements about Johnny Depp. And at the end of the day, like, there's another problem with the law in the United States. You don't have judges that decide. It's a jury, right? So even if, like this is another thing that mind blowed me when I found out. So let's say you're a guilty person, like, you genuinely did it, right? And all the evidence showed that you did it. Like, let's say you have a murder, and the murderer confesses. The evidence is found. His fingerprints are on the trigger. But the jury chooses to say innocent. So unanimously, the jury says, "Yeah, this guy is innocent." The guy walks away. Now, let's put it the other way around. Let's say that you have a person that is 100% innocent. He didn't do it. There's no evidence that he did it. But the jury finds him guilty. He goes to prison. So in the case of Johnny Depp, it doesn't really matter what the law is and how things are, you know? Like if the jury finds something, then that's what the jury says. Not every trial is a jury trial. Yeah, but we're talking about the Johnny Depp trial, which was a jury trial. What does science say? You know, there's a difference between science as a profession and the institution. So, science means the scientific theory. It means you have a hypothesis, you make an experiment, you reach the conclusion, and other people should be able to replicate that experiment and reach the same conclusion. Science as an institution, well, it's pretty much like what scientists are allowed to say. Like, if you say something and you get fired, then, well, the science won't say that. That is also good if the jury chooses not to convict a father murdering a pedophile. There are certain situations where that is true. Like, there have been crimes committed where most people in that situation would understand. Like as you say, you know, a father killing a pedophile, like most people would be like, "Hey, I have kids," you know, like, how would I react if I was in his place? But, like, let's be honest, those situations are rare. Science is descriptive. Some people would have you believe that is prescriptive. Yeah, I heard that Dr. Fauci is going to retire soon. Like, I really don't know how humanity is going to go forward. Like, the Dark Ages are going to return. I heard that Dr. Fauci is the science. So if he is the science, then the science is retiring. It happened more than once. Yeah. I mean, dude, like, if you were a member of the jury in that situation, would you make a different choice, you know? I mean, the way most people react is based on empathy. It's like, what would happen if I was in that position? You know, I come home and I find out that my son was molested by this person. It's a difficult thing, you know? Like, the science can't retire during monkeypox. Oh my god. Like, seeing how people play Minesweeper with monkeypox is absolutely hilarious. And what's interesting is, like, you see blue check marks on Twitter saying, oh yeah, I got monkeypox and I am involved into orgies and I drink human piss and I do this and that. But I don't like the fact that people judge my lifestyle. And I'm like, motherfucker, we just been through COVID, right? Where you had to social distance, wear a mask, and if you didn't, people would judge your lifestyle. But, like, I guess now, because it's, like, more personal to you, you can't make the sacrifices required to keep your community safe. Because at the end of the day, I'm fucking safe, you know? I'm married with a wife. I'm not cheating. She's not cheating. Like, there is no chance whatsoever that I am going to come up with the monkeypox. Right? So, it's not my community that's at stake. You're the one that constantly says, oh yeah, well, I had it, and then I had orgies, and I don't want people to judge me. It's like, okay, well... JDay79, you're not Dr. Fauci, stop impersonating. Yeah, no fucking king shaming, I know. Annibal has COVID. Sorry about that. It's not HIV 2.0. Like, monkeypox is not as bad as HIV. But at least, like, during the HIV pandemic, like, the HIV crisis, at least, like, people knew. It's like, all right, well, it's targeting this type, you know, it's targeting people with this type of lifestyle. And this is what they can do to protect themselves. But now, is the media just playing Minesweeper to avoid calling out the most vulnerable people? Oh my god, thank you for the McDonald's money. McDonald's is so good. Yeah, I mean, the major concern with the monkeypox, like, literally in the beginning was like, oh, well, we shouldn't call it monkeypox because it's racist. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, like, that is the last thing that was on my mind when I heard about it. Like, that is literally the last thing on my mind. It's called monkeypox because it's coming from Africa and it was first discovered in monkeys. Like, what? Why the fuck? And it's the same with the China virus, right? Like, we used to call things like the Spanish flu, the Ebola virus, like all of these things. It's because that's the geographical location where it was first initiated. Like, there is a thing called the London flu because it was first discovered in London. But now we need to tiptoe. And the Z variant, right? Because we can't call it the Z variant because Chairman Z, and like, why the fuck do we care? Why the fuck do we care? Like, do we live in China? Do we have to respect the Chinese communist leader? Like, why? Do they respect the US president? Do they respect Joe Biden? I mean, I genuinely, like, find it so frustrating that medical organizations are now tone policing people. It's like you're losing respect as a medical institution when you do that. Like, you're not into politics. You don't get to decide these types of things. Are off-color jokes allowed? No. I wish they would watch my content, to be honest. Black people aren't more affected for monkeypox. No, like I already said, like monkeypox is mostly transmitted through boot sex. Okay, like the reason for it is that, as most sexual diseases, while they are transmitted through sexual fluids, it's kind of like playing Russian roulette. You know, like you can have sex with a person with HIV, and you may get it or you may not get it, but it's like you're playing Russian roulette. Now, it is transmitted through semen, but it's a lot easier to transmit if it's blood contact. So if it's blood contact, then you're playing Russian roulette with many more bullets, right? Now, when you have sex that's straight, so you're in a vagina, the vagina is built for the pounding, so there's not going to be any tears. But if you have boot sex, the anus is not built for a pounding, so there are micro tears. Now, the micro tears are very small. Some of them might be even microscopic, but like they cause blood to go out, and like that is why it's more likely. Okay, like you can get it the normal way, you can get it through other ways, but it's more likely to get it through boot sex. So now you know who are the most vulnerable people. Like if you're a straight guy, and if you have boot sex with a lot of women that have monkeypox, you're gonna get it. But again, like people who have boot sex more often, they're more exposed. Especially if you have many partners. Like again, like when you talk about any sexually transmitted disease, like the more partners you have, I guess it's like blackjack, you know? You keep saying, hit me, hit me, hit me. Eventually you're going to reach 21. Journalists do have objective standards. All of their political enemies should be taken literally and with the worst faith possible. Yeah, I seen this happening. Like when it's a Democrat, they can legitimately say horrible stuff, and the journalist's like, oh, no, like what they really wanted to say, what they really wanted to mean. And when it's a when it's a Republican, they can actually joke or use a hyperbole, and they will treat it that they were serious. Most monkeypox cases are in between gay and bisexual men. What did I tell you? It's the boot sex. Who does boot sex? You know, like it's not a disease knows the sexual orientation. But it's not only that, right? Like there was this article which suggested that like if you're a gay person and you know you have it, don't have sex with other people for 2 weeks, right? Like, it's kind of common sense. Oh my God, people on Twitter were outraged. People on Twitter are outraged. I'm thinking like, dude, like this hurts that community, right? Like, don't you want them to not get sick? I mean, okay, you know, fine. I mean, it doesn't affect me. As a medical practitioner, it does make me raise a lot of question marks, but a couple of kids were apparently diagnosed with monkeypox. I have questions about how they got it. The Child Protection Services should too. I mean, there are ways you can get it without the sex, but the problem is, like, you can't even claim probable cause. Like, you can't really do anything about it because, you know, it's not just transmitted through sexual contact. It can be like through skin lesions. But yeah, it would be a normal question, like how did they using the fire exit as another entrance and wondering why people got burned. I don't get that reference. Anyway, does V look like Short Fat Otaku's character right now? I don't think so. Why is Flat I never understand, like, Flat is just... No, like, Flat is injustice. Anyway, thank you for listening to the stream. Hopefully it was entertaining. I am experimenting with different hours and different co-hosts. So, hopefully you guys had a good laugh. I'm also curious if Uni is going to stream tonight. Friday streams are a joke, apparently. She doesn't take them seriously. She hasn't taken them seriously for 4 weeks now. I think it's going to be the year of the Lord 2165. There's going to be a message on the radio saying that Yuri Luna isn't streaming today. And no one would remember who the fuck is Yuri Luna, but they kept announcing that her streams aren't happening on Friday for so long it became a tradition. Anyway, right? Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank